Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I said I wasn't going to talk about politics unless it was relevant, but unfortunately, Donald Trump's um, games with tariffs and the world economy are finally affecting the movie industry directly. In part of retaliation to China receiving retaliatory tariffs of like 104% from Donald Trump, they have decided to moderately reduce the amount of Hollywood films they show in China. Now, China is the second biggest market for American films. So, and they've for years pandered to America with disasters like Age of what was the Transformers one where they basically had the Dinobots in Tokyo. Um, yeah, they've been doing this for a while, and it's kind of worked. Sometimes it hasn't, but yeah, that basically they make a lot of money in China. But now, and this happened once before where they said they were going to moderately reduce the films, and it was a bloodbath. Basically, what they're doing is they're just getting rid of American films and replacing them with films from other countries because they can do that. There's America's not the only place in the world, and there's plenty of people with film industries that require Chinese people to use subtitles. So yeah, so this is horrible. This is awful. The industry is going to lose some money. Films that they were targeting for Chinese audiences and pandering to Chinese audiences are not going to go to China now. So they're not going to work as well in the local market because they're trying to be a global. That's part of the problem with Hollywood. They're trying to be a global thing, and they often alienate on some levels the regular audience for the world audience. So if you're not getting the world audience, you've done it for nothing. So yeah, so it's going to hurt a lot of films. It's going to hurt the but that's just what Donald Trump's little game of insider trading tariff chicken is all about. Basically, he put the tariffs up. He threatened everyone, intimidated everyone, scared everyone, freaked everyone out, and then right when everything was low and all his billionaire friends were advised to buy. Then he announces that, oh, I'm pausing the tariffs for 90 days and everything's going to be okay. And everything comes up again and a whole bunch of people made a lot of money. That's how you manipulate the market. That's what he did. Allegedly, supposedly, it's being investigated, I think. It should. But because they've totally gutted the American government, I don't think there is anyone left to actually investigate crimes like this. So yeah, stuff like this keeps happening, but I don't talk about it because I just don't want to talk about politics because, frankly, the death threats are just no fun. Occasionally they come from Australia, so it's no fun. But yeah, just it's crazy, and it's hard enough talking about film and the pop culture politics and drama around all of that. The idea of actually talking about real culture wars as opposed to just pop culture wars is just too much. I just couldn't be bothered. Occasionally it'll become relevant like this. But yeah, so it's not just my toys that are going to cost more money, and honestly I'm trying to get out of all the collections. I'm just going to finish off all the lines I've got at the moment, and I'm spending a fortune at the moment to try and finish up all the collections I'm collecting now before prices go up and everything starts costing more, because once they start more to manufacture, they're going to cost a lot more, and I just don't want to get caught. I'm not starting any new toy lines or waves. The McFarlane superhero figures will be the last ones, the last toy line I'll be getting. I just bought the Joker and Batman, cartoon Joker, cartoon Batman from was it Nightfall? And Superman from the Silver Age, and yeah, I've just got a few of them, and that's it. I'm just going to finish off those and the Superpowers line and all the other stuff I've started, and I'm not doing anymore because toys are just going to be too expensive. They've been sliding into the collector's realm for a while, which usually makes them better but more expensive, and not just cheap, because toys used to be cheap because they were just made for kids. And then once they started catering to collectors, they got better. The quality got better, but they started to cost money, and that's been steadily increasing. And they've done everything to get around putting up the prices. They've removed deco, they've removed accessories, they've minimise packaging. They're doing so many things to try and save money, but they're eventually just going to have to start charging more, and it's going to start to become like a premium thing where it's like you're paying. Everything is like a Super 7, incredibly expensive item that's great and what you want, but you're paying through the nose for it. And I'm just not going to start down that route. I did that with Super 7, and now I'm not regretting it, but there's a couple of figures that I still need to finish my collection, which are prohibitively expensive, 4 times the price of any of the other ones I bought. And it's like, had I known that I was going to have to pay that much for those couple of figures to finish off this set, I wouldn't have started. So I'm just not going down that road again. So that's the result with this sort of game of chicken. People bow out, and that's what I'm doing with the collecting thing. So have at it, tariff people. Yeah, make your money. I just don't want to be involved.